Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Falih, مسيك بالخير.
يمسيك بالنور. Thank you for having me.
Just as a brief introduction, tell us about Tashyid's urban development's journey and how you ended up in this sector. You're pretty focused on what you do. It's an interesting story of how you got there.
Thank you for the question. Tashyid Urban Development started about a few years ago, but the original business started about 30 years ago by my father. And pretty much we were a one-stop shop solution provider for real estate development. We did everything from feasibility studies to development management, all the way to property management and then exiting and everything in between. Mm-hmm. Over the years, we started specializing as we go along. And a few years ago, probably beginning of 2022, we decided that we were going to focus on certain sectors. And the main sector today is hospitality. Hospitality, as everybody knows, is quite broad. A long time ago, probably 20 odd years ago, my father started talking about 3-star hotels. And I think it was a little bit early at the time, and the concept was not well known in the region. And fast forward 20 years, we came up with our partners at IHG and HVS to sign a master development agreement with Holiday Inn Express to develop 12 hotels around the kingdom.
So 12 under development?
12 to be developed.
12 to be developed. And
correct.
Currently, what do you have right now open?
In the pipeline, we have 2.
2 open, okay. So, but how did you decide out of real estate development, hospitality, and then focusing on the mid-market? What's the hook there?
Other than the economic value, and other than looking at the P&L, in 2018, when the Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Sports came up with the visa for events, Sharik, I think it was called, a group of friends and I, we did a road trip around the kingdom. Starting off in Jeddah, going down to Al-Baha, Abha, crossing the empty quarter, all the way east to Al-Hassa, then going back northwest to Hayl, Al-Ula, and then ending in Sharma, Neom. That was a 16-day trip. The year after, I visited a few other locations around the kingdom in Jizan, Najran, and parts of the northern border. And after visiting that, and this was all for leisure, this is for fun, I realized that there's this gap missing in every city we went to. There were hotels. There's no lack of accommodation. But there wasn't the proper accommodation to house everybody that was with us. In 2018, when we did the trip, we were 16 nationalities. And these people enjoyed Saudi to the utmost. Mm-hmm. But we always had the issue of where are we going to stay. When we looked at different segments and where we wanted to be, we realized that the actual segment of the mid-market 3-star limited service hotels is pretty much your core accommodation in any city. And this is something that is needed in every place you go to. And you see that in different European cities, different American cities, and so on. And that's how we started.
Talk to us about the uniqueness of this segment in terms of development cost compared to other asset classes that you guys own or asset classes that you guys have looked at. Development costs and time to market, which seems to be one of the biggest.
Absolutely. So one of the other sectors that we work at Tashyid is residential. And we work with the Ministry of Housing and the Saudi National Housing Company as well. Time to market there takes a longer time. It's a completely different cycle. Coming into hospitality, coming into this segment exactly, time to market is very, very short. So we could say if everything goes smoothly, and that really doesn't, you're talking 12 to 18 months and you can have a hotel up and running. The way we're building and the way we're going to start building, we're going to hopefully break ground next quarter on the first project. We're using a mix of different development methods between modular construction, traditional construction, to achieve that.
So you're going to be able to bring that even
exactly. So we expect that the first 3 or 4 hotels are going to be the test model for us to see where the issues are, try to fix any shortfall we get, and then from there drop down the construction time to probably 8 months.
And talk to us about your magic formula. Holiday Inn Express, 12 in the country, in the kingdom. Are they going to be copy-paste, each one of them?
To a certain extent. So the kingdom is quite big, 13 different regions. You have mountain areas, you have seasides, you have different terrain, different geographical areas, different cultural aspect in each area. And if we take Abha, for example, we're building 160 keys over there. It's going to be a Holiday Inn Express from the inside. Each room in all the hotels are going to be similar, but when you enter, each lobby will pretty much complement the city that it's in. So you'll see a lot of cultural aspects in each of the lobbies. The facade of each building will reflect to a certain extent where you are, but then where the rooms are, it's going to be a standard.
And that's where you get your efficiency and
exactly.
speed to time.
Exactly.
What other initiatives are you undertaking to make sure that you stay true and you contribute to the local economy? A big factor of the mid-scale hotels is that they enrich the environment they're in. A lot of them are neighborhood hotels. They procure locally. They employ locally. What are you going to do with Tashyid?
So, I'm going to take Abha again for an example, because this is the one we're pushing to begin with first. We're working with local authorities over there, despite where they are or who they are, to get as much as we can out of the city. So, for instance, human capital, labor, construction materials. Even when we come to operate, we're going to try as much as we can to at least maintain a certain percentage from each area to be part of it. So we will be initiating certain training programs so that despite wherever you're staying with us, you're going to get the same service.
Excellent. And do you see Tashyid's future growing out of the sector, or do you see it as growing into other brands? I mean, you've been down this journey, and it's. I should not be asking this.
No, there's. She's sitting right there. No, we're definitely not leaving the sector anytime soon. Our overall plan is to develop between 10,000 to 13,000 keys across the kingdom. So our first phase is with Holiday Inn Express today with the 2,500 keys in different areas. Then we're going to go into different segments as we go along until we reach the 10,000
By segments,
keys.
Sorry, I'm being pedantic here. Are you going to grow 4-star, 5-star, or are you going to grow other brands, or are you going to go branded resi as we just heard?
I don't think we're going to go into branded resi, but I think we're going to stick with 3-4-star hotels, try to stick in the middle market. I think that's where the majority of the population around the world is.
Understood. Thank you. May I open the floor for questions from the audience, if there are any, for Falih?
Hi, Paul from Rove Hotels. The question is, I'm relatively new to, not to mid-scale hotels, but certainly to Saudi. Why do you think that more of your colleagues are not seeing the huge opportunity there is in mid-scale hotels across the kingdom, given 80% of the population will travel in this category?
I was told a few months ago when I was pitching this idea to a certain person that this segment is not attractive enough. And I think a lot of people in this space today are trying to find the quick win of the glitz and glamour instead of looking at it on a long-term investment strategy. Today, I don't think it's going to be that difficult in the kingdom to build a high-end luxury brand in any of the cities. But is the market there? We're getting to it. But the mid-scale is going to cover anyone trying to travel that is from any segment you want into the secondary cities and a lot of the main cities. I hope I answered that question for you.
Falih, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anton. I appreciate it.